So with the power back onto the trailer, I set the new LuxPro to the heat position. I use the up and down arrows to set the desired temperature for inside the trailer, and my furnace is just kicked on. Hey, Brian here with DIY Outdoor Life. Today, we are going to be swapping out the old thermostat that came on the Bushwhacker with a newer one that has a digital readout on it. It's gonna make for a much better experience when we're cold weather camping and using that furnace, but my old thermostat is not broken. So I'm gonna be saving that and showing you why redundancy is really key for different instruments like this. It's gonna be real handy to have a backup. This job is fast and easy. Anyone can do it. So let's check it out. So the device I'm using to do this job, I picked up from Amazon, and people ask me questions about getting warranties on trailers, and I usually say save your money for Amazon. The device we're using is the LuxPro heat only. Might be LuxPro, I don't know. This is the device that I chose to use. It gets really good reviews, and I know a ton of other Bushwhacker owners that have gone with this one. I'll include a link to the Emerson one as well. It's a little bit cheaper. Seems like it'll do the job just fine. But this is gonna be an easy install, and it's gonna help us out a ton. All we're gonna do to get started is open up this box, take out the device, take the directions and go start a fire with those, and we're gonna get started right here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is peel this little sticker off the front. Then I'm gonna push this little tab on the bottom, and it's gonna break the unit into two pieces. Now it opens up. You can remove this little green piece of plastic. And there's a little tab to separate the batteries. Pull that out, and then I'm gonna set this whole section to the side. This section is what we're gonna start to work with. So come on, let's head inside. Okay folks, safety first. Make sure we disconnect the shore power to the camper. If your camper's plugged in, you're gonna be getting 12 volts to that thermostat. So we disconnect the camper from shore power. Next, we use the cutoff switch to shut off the battery. If your cutoff switch exists, if you have one and it's wired properly, there's gonna be no voltage at the thermostat. If you have it wired improperly or you're using the negative wire, you're still gonna have 12.8 volts to that thermostat. So if you don't have a switch or yours is wired on the negative side, just disconnect both the terminals from your battery to make sure there's no voltage at this thermostat when we're working on it. So the first step inside is actually just removing the old Dometic thermostat. It's as simple as prying it down from the top and taking this protective cover off and setting it to the side. Next, we're gonna remove the two screws that hold this thermostat to the wall. Next, we're gonna remove the two wires that are connected to the thermostat with set screws. And the old thermostat is now removed. What I like to do is take the old thermostat and connect the cover back onto it. We're gonna be saving this device, and I'm gonna explain why later. What's left is gonna be two wires with little candy canes. It's gonna be a white wire and a red wire. So I just took my finger and bent both of the candy canes flat so that I'll be able to slide it into the slot for the W1 and the RH. Now we're gonna install the backer plate for the new thermostat. You got a lot going on here, but basically we have two wires, and we're just gonna be using the W1 and the RH. The W1 is for the white wire, the RH is for the red wire. Take your time and back out the set screw, not all the way, but most of the way for the W1 and the RH. You can see here that I've run the wires in through the back and fastened them down with the set screws. Now that the backer plate is wired properly, I'm going to fix it over top of the original position of the old thermostat. Now, the holes are not going to line up, so I'm going to have to put new holes in. You can pre-drill these to get the screws to go in easier, but basically I'm just going to take my time and put these in with a normal screwdriver. Now this job would go a lot faster with a power drill, but again, I'm out here camping, just trying to get things done. So a simple screwdriver did the job. I now have the backer plate mounted and I have it fastened with the screws. If you put the screws in the center of the two adjustable slots, you can back them out a little bit to make sure that you're square and plumb and have this right where you want it to be. Now, well, I gotta find it. Now, I'm ready to install the battery powered front to this device. It swings on from the top and clicks on, and there's two buttons here. There's a fan and a heat button. I'm going to turn both of these to the off position, and now I'm going to power up the trailer. So with the power back onto the trailer, I set the new LuxPro to the heat position. I use the up and down arrows to set the desired temperature for inside the trailer, and my furnace is just kicked on. So this device is working great. Although it's brand new to me, being a part of this Bushwhacker Facebook group, tons of people are using these and they're getting really high results. So it doesn't cost that much money and it gives you a lot more control, including the ability to see what temperature it is inside the trailer. The old thermostat didn't have the capability of doing that. So now we're going to talk about why I'm saving the old thermostat and why this upgrade is so important. Okay folks, so this upgrade doesn't cost much money, and like I showed, it's very, very easy. The reason we're doing it is because this original thermostat is not very good. Now, Dometic makes pretty good products, but you know, every company makes a product that is trying to be cheap rather than effective, and I think that's the case with this. This thermostat has broken down for a lot of people. I've gotten emails and seen things on the Facebook group where this stopped working. One of the bigger problems is that the on-off button really takes a lot of force to turn. It's a cheap little piece of plastic and a lot of people break it. The other problem is that it doesn't tell you the exact temperature. It just has some weird slider rule, and sometimes if you're trying to save heat, it might be effective to set it at 62 degrees instead of just moving it back and forth until it feels comfortable in the trailer. So it's a huge convenience. Now, the last thing is with devices like this, redundancy is key. If you are winter camping or even late fall camping and you're way out in the woods, these devices do go bad. And when they go bad, you're going to be hot wiring the furnace and staying up all night to try to stay warm. So my recommendation is to trade this out before it breaks. It only weighs a couple ounces and takes up less space than a deck of cards. I now store this under the bed in the Bushwhacker. This new thermostat uses AA batteries. That doesn't make me overly happy, but I have a really good solution for rechargeable batteries, and it's easy to bring a couple extra. It does last a really long time on the batteries that came with it. But knowing I have a backup thermostat that literally goes in 5 seconds just gives me peace of mind. And that's the reason why I traded this out before mine broke, just to throw it under the bed and have it for later. Guys, I hope these videos are helpful to you. Make sure you like and subscribe the channel if you do find them helpful. I have links in the description to a couple different options for thermostats, including the one that I'm using today. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.